just 3-3.
More than likely. Armament still trucking along. See, they can pick up a victory here, Temple of Anubis. It's been a very long time since these teams have had to play this, to have had to, even scrim on this map. Yeah. So a lot of preparation being put in these last 2 weeks during the break.
It's like a gondola of the future in Anubis over there. I don't know what that is.
Well, we have gondolas of the future in Rialto.
That's true. Those are like really gondolas of the future. It's like a space gondola that's on land for some reason. I don't know what's going on.
It reminds me of like a ship from, was it Treasure Planet?
Yes, that's actually like exactly what I was thinking
yeah.
of. Sails and stuff like the same.
Very much reminds me of that. But
all right, look at this.
I don't think Cryan's going to play Tracer, so
no.
Just go ahead and swap it up.
3-3 versus 3-3. High ground control, obviously, to the defender here. And Ion, very known for using high ground. Can drop down kills and pins. See how long he's able to stay up there with very aggressively approaching Mandu and DPI.
Over to the side, Cryan just going to be displaced for the moment, but is able to rejoin safely. No way to collapse on top of him.
Huge fire strike from Ion. You can see he just built up a ton of ult charge from that. He shoots up to 30% as he perfectly times it with when they enter that doorway. Very impressive stuff here.
Well, in and around the back of the point, Cryan going to be the first one to drop down. Up at the front, now Swing's going to be coming through. Cryan finds Delight. Very nice pick off here at the beginning. As it's still trying to play forward. Ion dangerously low. They're chasing forward. They're looking for him. Cryan going to be taken out by Ion. Will be on the exchange. Seems like WGS just going to be going ahead and profiting here on this push and taking point A very rapidly. With 7 minutes remaining on the clock, unless there could be some kind of last minute a little contest here, but yeah, not to be found.
Not going to happen. But they do
snowball
give
chance very weak though.
Yeah, they do give, exactly, they do give the points, so there's no chance of a snowball here because there's just no ults yet, unfortunately, for WGS, so they didn't feed over any ult charge. So WGS is going to have to kind of eco push around here to the left side. If they can get another kill here with Cryan opening up, that would be huge, but it's more likely we're just going to see them try to build ults efficiently, perhaps even retreat from the point.
Shatter going to be coming down, locks out the shield just a little bit too late there from Cryan. Delight is going to be scooping him up. Pelican, Gargoyle both going to be falling. Cryan will die, but he holds on to the Shatter. They build up a little bit there on the eco push. They lose out onto the rally. But now they give a decent amount of charge over to the remaining members of GC.
They do gain that Ion used his Shatter there, so sure he obviously built quite a significant amount of it back afterwards, but they do have this advantage in Rein versus Rein for the next push, which is something that can bait out then Fielder's Trance. And then suddenly you're looking at a one grab fight. So these are all like small micro things that can happen in an approach like this. So this is no longer just an eco push for WGS. This is absolutely a push that could win them a tick or perhaps more. Like this right side approach,
man.
Pretty unusual.
So much damage on him. Young Bong, he will get the armor back, try to stay alive. They'll burst him back up. They're pushing forward. Cryan going to be swinging away, trying to break that shield. Get rid of that here for Ion. Shatter coming down. We get the shield to break in time. Beautiful play by Ion. Now nearly has a Shatter of his own online. Vincent is out from either side. Shadow's going to be going through, locked up here with the Graviton Surge. The bomb from Ritz finds two. Myungpong and Gargoyle both going to be taken out, and then it's a slaughter from there. GC Busan Wave just going to be cleaning up.
You pointed it out in the approach. You take so much damage going around the right side because of the architecture of the map. You kind of have to jump around cliffs and those little steps. It's kind of weird, but everyone's gone to the right before. It's not a comfortable approach. And then they just collapse in there. Nice attempt, though, by Cryan to try to get that Shatter, but Ion blocks it perfectly. And now Edison is just looking for more ult charge here, and potentially even energy if WGS contests there. And they walk away scot-free here. Very nicely done. That's about as far as you could push it, what GC Busan Wave just did there with the frontline approach.
Yep, it's already 2 minutes plus going to be drained away from the clock. Still WGS getting a completion. Soon would give them a very respectable time bank. Now they're pushing forward. They're looking for the bite. Gargoyle going to be holding on to this grab for the moment. See that Ritz is down below half HP. Would love to pop him out of that mech, but we'll go ahead. Dumps it. Dumps the ult in the lock. Bomb going to be up into the front, looking for him. DPI gets two of them. Fielder and Edison both going to be eliminated. Ritz popped out of the mech. Now no front line. The Baby Diva taken down. Daydream barely escaping with his life intact. Can go ahead and try to speed boost the remaining members back into the fight, but 2 ticks already gained for WGS.
That should be 3.
Can they get this? They do barely manage to tag in, but now Daydream and Delight both going to be going down, so 4 minutes plus here for WGS.
They see the opportunity. They force the sound barrier early. They know there's no chance. There's no way that Fielder can have it yet. He's close. He's at 80%, but they know that that next grab is going to be a big one. They guarantee the self-destruct kills with Mandu again, coming in with a right click on the Lucio. And what looked really terrifying for WGS there, it looked like they had lost all their steam after the A capture. They still maintained a very, respectable time bank here on B. So now they have an opportunity to really gain an advantage here if they can have a longer hold on A. That's all they realistically need in order to take an advantage as we go into what will very likely be, at least in this meta, extra rounds of Assault. Now I wonder what's going through the heads of the support players on GC Busan Wave. They've always been the anchor here for this squad. Fielder and Daydream, they've always been the ones that build the supports ults quickly, use them very carefully, very efficiently, use them at the last second in Fielder's case. Fielder more known for his Ana, but in this meta it's Zen all the time. But he's, sometimes caught in these positions where he's like, God, I had to trance in that last fight. They forced me to. I feel so frustrated that I'm trying my best. I'm being as aggressive as possible with my right clicks, trying to build another one, but I just can't hit it in time. Daydream's got his barrier, it's baited, and Fielder's thinking in that moment, like, if I just had 15% more, then we're still defending right now. But really nicely done by WGS to force GC Busan Wave to use those support ultimates often on those attacks.
Yeah, so 4:06, the time to beat here for GC Busan Wave. Pushing their way forward. Looks like it's going to be that center approach, actually, not even going through the lower right, but yeah, DPI in from behind, charging forward. They get delay. Pelican picking him up with that shield bash. Ion going in for the charge, not going to find anything, will be isolated. They get scooped up, taken down, and WGS just farms out ult charge.
It's crazy to see a D.Va get so much value just off of using her rocket boost, but she hides in the corner there. DPI sends the mech through the army, which does a small amount of AoE damage. He did only 7% of ult charge through that, but the disruption is actually what matters, and in that moment, WGS collapses in, does tons of damage, and just gets the crazy ult charge builds. The rally, the most important one, and now he's going to look for another flank. This time he can use the missiles.
Positioning yet again, will go ahead, pushes them out. Trying to find somebody. Karai with a shatter online, looks like he might not have to use it. Fielder going to get picked off, Shield's just going to be coming back up as he tries to top him up. The rest of the team desperately trying to exit, but Ritz will lose out on the mech, and the Yongbong can go ahead and pick him off to get closer to that Transcendence.
And whether it's through D.Va, and her rocket boosters, or whether it's Mandu with his right clicks, what WGS is doing so well on these A defenses is splitting up the tanks in the back line, and that's how, once again, they're able to kill Fielder first. Gargoyle's got a grab now. And they're going to once again try to use DPI to disrupt from behind. Look at that.
Already tagged up significantly in. The Shatter going to be coming down. Karayan able to find a pin kill onto Ion. Only losing out onto Pelican thus far. Gargoyle goes ahead, throws in the Graviton Surge, locks him up. The bomb for good measure will get a double kill as both supports and Ritz's mech will get popped. And WGS have a chokehold on this point.
We've used to see defenses like this a lot, actually, with dive defense, where you kind of hide and then collapse in on the team that actually comes in. But this is still 3-3. They're almost playing it like dive because they're jumping in on their prey, the attacking team GC Busan Wave. Fielder only just now gets his trance, so he couldn't answer for Gargoyle's grab. Now they have ult advantage, but it doesn't matter if they take it now because WGS has already burned through that time bank.
Yeah, they have worked it down quite considerably, and if GC Busan Wave has to throw all of their ultimates at the point, then there's absolutely no chance of that snowball cap unless WGS just somehow, drops the ball, doesn't make it out of spawn.
Once again, kind of tricking them up a little bit here. DPI on the low ground.
They drop their way in. Karayan shield up now, going to start pushing his way forward. Edison looking for an opportunity to go ahead and use that grab. Charge over to the side. Shatter out from Ion. Not really going to be finding anything. The pin, however, will lock down Pelican. Gets the kill, but Gargoyle picks off Daydream. Now Fielder gone. Now Edison. Now Ion. All of them dropping like
WGS.
flies. WGS maintaining control. They don't even give up a tick.
And now Ritz is staggered. This is a nightmare scenario for GC Busan Wave. They lost their trance. Gargoyle's got another grab. There's no way to make this next push work. It's going to take two, and they don't have time for two pushes. There's the stagger kill here at the last possible second on the Ritz as Gargoyle heads back up onto the high ground. Such efficient usage here of the charges from Karayan, making sure he could split this team up. DPI hides on the low ground this time, always keeping GC Busan Wave guessing. And now all it's going to take is a good grab hit here, and that might just be the full hold.
Pushing up through the choke, sees him over to the side, grab's gonna be good, sound barrier's out,
Self-destruct!
right on top of DPI, it's gonna be big! Gets 3 of them there, Ritz popped out the
That's
wipe
it.
as the Baby Diva will get cleaned up. 20 seconds remaining, GC Busan Wave can go into desperation mode here to try to get in onto the point, but Ritz will not be a part of this. They finally take him down, Myungbong again, coming up with the kill. They have the rally, they nearly have the translate,
He needs to touch
Shatter
it.
online.
He needs to touch it.
They have to get their way over there, 5 seconds remaining. The
He's
rally
coming.
is out. Daydream
There he goes.
pushing up over the left side. The shatter. Hammer comes down. Korian looking to lock him up. He'll go ahead, hit the ground here himself. The grab comes in, locking them up. They nearly have a tick gate over onto the point.
Daydream's on it.
Well, it's going to be taken down. Daydream does scoop up at least a tick, but it is still, there's so much more that they need. He'll get taken out. Edison in the front will be burned down. The OT will drop, and WGS will move up 2-1 in the series.
Match point on the horizon here for WGS Armament. They are 1 win away from one of our biggest upsets since O2 Ardian defeated Element Mystic. And I have to say, you know, looking at this series, it's one of those reminders that sometimes you have the talent, you have the best team possible. Everyone believes in a squad like that. They have a group where, you know, they dominate outside of that Element Mystic series, which is almost forgettable because it was such a wonky one and so dominant by EM. They dropped 1 map, the Stormquake, and otherwise outside of the Element Mystic series, no other maps. Teams so dominant that no one could ever expect WGS takes this. GC Busan Wave is a team, everyone says, I don't want to face them in the round of 8, I don't want to face them semis, I don't want to face them finals. All the interviews leading up to the start of regular season says this is the scariest team. Runaway seems okay, but this is the team I'm scared of. These are the favorites to win this tournament from day one. And WGS Armament, no one thought was going to get out of playoffs. And what a change in momentum, not only for these two teams here on stage, the fans and the audience, but those at home. Some people might wake up tomorrow to find that WGS 3-1 GC Busan Wave, they might be the biggest GC Busan Wave fan ever, but they didn't even feel like showing up because they thought it was a walkover win. There's probably some people out there who might wake up like that tomorrow. It'll be a sad day for those fans who didn't tune in live because WGS has all the cards right now. Will be GC Busan Wave's map pick. And this is historically WGS's Armament's favored map in terms of escort win rate. Stressful right now for WGS because they've never been this close. You know, they've made playoffs barely, and they have never been this close to a top 4 before. So they've got to keep their wits about them.
Very, very close here. WGS 1 step away. GC Busan going to be shifting back over to their map pick. It worked out for them on Kings Row. Can they find success on Escort to further tie this series? Go just step for step, back and forth against Armament and push us to a final round of control so they can desperately try to pick up a win. The first time out on Lijiang, it was not pretty. That one will be out of the map pool, but you know, that's still such a very close position to be in. Pressure up for both of these squads. GC Busan Wave underperforming here against the expectations that we had from the beginning of the season for these guys.
Yeah, it does feel like in some ways GC Busan Wave got complacent. They had such a dominant group stage. It's hard to feel like, you know, leading up until their Element Mystic loss, they get crushed there, and that's like the reminder. That's the wake-up call of like, oh man, we didn't even think about Doomfist. They crush us there. Then they you know, 4-0 Kongju Panthera, which is one of our weaker teams this season, right? And now, you know, you might lose here, but it's, I think, a reminder again that groups are not equal. Always the skill level you see from one group to another is not always the same. You know, this team, WGS took a map off Runaway all the way back at the beginning of the season in week 2. So underestimated, I think, is the best way to describe this team by fans here in Korea, abroad. And, you know, I think for those WGS fans who have been following since the Order days in Season 1, it's about time, right? So for this, you know, upcoming semis, for example, like what a story it would be that the 2 big favorites of this tournament, GC Busan and Runaway, they go through both of them. to win to go to the finals and win the tournament. Like, we could live in that world. What a story it would be, but they've got to win this 4th map first.
That would truly be a Cinderella story.
Absolutely. It would be insane. This Trials team. They're in the lead now.
And they are. Match point ready to go. Potentially, yeah, the final map pick really here for GC Busan Wave. They will be taking us to Dorado.
Dorado's point A, the fountain, operates very similarly to King's Row in terms of its choke point, all the functions you can use there with the Zarya ride, controlling that window there. And it's actually a little bit more difficult than King's Row to split up Ion and the rest of his squad like they were dismantled there on the King's Row defense of A on that first attack from WGS. So you could argue that if they can have a great defense on A, this map is theirs. It benefits them. So a smart map choice.
Seems like the GC Busan Wave fans desperately trying to breathe some life into this roster, saying, come on, guys, get it done. But that win on the board do not go down like this.
To lose this series would mean the 2 teams they lost to on their way out would be Element Mystic, where they were crushed by what was essentially a pocket strategy, and then lose to WGS Armament. I mean,
yeah, the
no
near
one
bottom
expects
seed
that.
team from Group A.
Yeah.
You know, the only reason they weren't was because Geekstar was just so wildly inconsistent. And they were trending up.
Well, it's going to be attack first here for WGS. Their choice, by the way. It's going to be the harder part, right, is breaking through this choke against GC Busan Wave is so good at controlling it.
Pelican getting clipped here. They're trying to advance the cart, pushing forward, looking to duke it out with Ion. That's Zarya bubble up to help keep him nice and safe. DPI going to be dropping down. Help this advantage compared to Ritz, but we'll go ahead and get topped up. GC Busan Wave will give a lot of space, but probably recontest as they get through the underpass.
Had to use his D-Matrix there in the Diva duel, which always means they're losing. It's going to try to break through Ion's shield. That's the target, remember, always for them is the Rhino, unless someone gets cut off.
Oh,
Ritz.
pushing forward. Yeah, Ritz is going to be isolated inside. Does get popped out of the mech. DPI able to find that one.
That should be
for another target.
Control of this fountain here now. And you know what? This is the point we were talking about. GC Busan Wave and the best chance of holding.
Ryan trying to stay alive, will be taken down. Edison able to find one, another one as Pelican will get dropped, but Ion and Fielder have both been eliminated. There's no supports available here for GC Busan Wave. They just get it straight up. 5.5 minutes on the clock. WGS steamroll their way through A.
Man, what a crazy... I mean, I don't even know what to say. They have so much momentum. GC Busan Wave is cracking under the pressure. They split Ritz off there as they were retreating. Ion was the target. They panicked. They were like, we can't lose Ion again. This keeps happening. But it's that split that gives WGS the advantage. Now they have basically the big 6 and ultimates here to go around this corner. GC Busan Wave needs to hold him here.
Grab comes down, pins him right into the wall. Bomb over onto the side from DPI. Not going to be able to find any picks. The shield is up from Ion. Just managed to block that one out. DPI in the meantime cannot get back into the back. The light is able to pick him off. Still playing up around the cart where it seems like for now GC Busan Wave will have some semblance of control.
WGS gets away and keeps some of that armor from the rally, but GC Busan Wave definitely has the advantages now. They regain the momentum. They have better rally armor. They have this grab against no trance. It's a great way to stop them on the street space, but...
Oh, no! That's going to be catastrophic here, potentially. DPI will be knocked out of the mech just before that sound barrier comes through, so cannot save him, but Orion's going to be swinging away here into the front line, trying to spot out for that bomb. Will be able to block him, but they lose out of the gargoyle as well. Missing down 1.5 members here as DPI still just going to be spamming away with that pistol, but trying to get back into the mech. And right as he is just about to be able to do so, will be taken down. So despite the fantastic D-Matrix there from DPI, it will not lead to a fight.
It was a really nice punish by GC Busan Wave because, yes, he did D-Matrix the grab, but he had to go so deep to get it. He was out of position, and GC Busan Wave immediately turned on him and burned him down. So double-edged sword here. The advantage looks nice when you eat it, but the longer fight is won by GC Busan Wave.
White playing forward, rally nearly online, has it ready to go, can call it out at any given time. Builder leading the charge, going very aggro here with the Transcendence. Now going to be matched by the Olmog as they try to turn things around. If Ryan's charging each other, we'll go ahead and hit the ground.
Ooh, look at this fight potential. They don't know where he is necessarily. They're not tracking him.
Yeah, good angle. He's already got another one online, so
Yeah.
let's go ahead and give it another try.
Look at how far away DPI is. It could have been a chance.
Okay, he's pushing his way forward here. That's going to be used. Slams this one down. Tries to lock them in. Well, actually, no, Edison doesn't get the opportunity to use it. It was Gargoyles. And just go ahead, sweep them up.
I'm a little bit disappointed that Edison didn't take that chance. DPI was away.
I thought he used it and died. I
Yeah.
thought DPI maybe got another pick off there, but no, it does not happen. He doesn't get the opportunity. He dies so quickly that he can't even hit the Q.
Well, he had such a good opportunity to use it even before that, you know, and that's why it almost feels like he should have been the one who tossed it. You know, we had that crazy camera cut there, but it is Gargoyle who uses his to win the fight. Edison still holds his, but it's a less relevant time now. DPI is in position to block it. It's going to be much tougher to get this one to be big.
He goes ahead, throws that one down, and I do believe it was. Don't see anything there. So it's building up percentage again, so DPI hounding him down. Ryan getting jumped up. Has to go ahead and kite back, hides behind Gargoyle since he's got the bobble up. The cart will continue to advance, getting ready to roll into B with 2:20 still on the clock. Transcendence now going to be in for Peeler. They're holding on to that sound barrier, but seems like with the pickoff here on a Pelican. Now for Ryan, they will not have to invest. They can go ahead, maintain control of that support ultimate and their shatter.
This is such a huge win here for GC Busan Wave after everything went wrong. They get these chasing kills as well. Edison's going to build another grab after that failed one. He had such a perfect opportunity, right, in the fight we just saw, but it was Gargoyle who won it. The next fight on the contest, where he didn't have the opportunity, DPI once again hounds him down and eats it. It's crazy how many grabs he's absorbed this game. Yeah, I know. And now we have Ion in this choke. Fortunately blocked there by Karayan, so he can't shatter.
Offer precision to try to go up for the shatter here as they're playing up onto the high ground. Graviton Surge will lock up 3 sound barriers out from Daydream. However, to try to keep him alive, the shatter catching 3 as well in response.
Stacked support.
Dropped, but yeah, that will be the stacked ults coming through. As you say, sound barrier in with the Transcendence. Now the grab comes in from Edison, pins him over onto the wall, and it's just absolute destruction here. GC Busan Wave sweep them out under the rug, and DPI is just going to get staggered.
All right, WGS Armament showing, you know, some of those rookie nerves here, I think, in a lot of these fights now that we're seeing through the middle of the streets phase, committing too many ultimates, stacking support ultimates there, and just overall finding themselves exposed to Ion shatters repeatedly in these high-pressure situations. The experience of GC Busan Wave is showing through here on their map pick. And now they have this choke controlled once again. Edison halfway to another grab. Hard to imagine WGS recovers from this when they have no support ultimates to speak of because of those stacked ones they wasted.
And the builder's off, bomb to open things. DPI is going to be throwing it out, doesn't find any picks. Rinse into the back, doesn't get any either. Shadow, however, gets the tanks right here into the front line. Korian and Gargoyle both going to get dropped. They push forward, escorted by Fielder with the Transcendence. Back over into the marketplace. Just consistently picking up kills. GC Busan Wave can continue to play around this choke. Ensure that nobody from WGS can get close to attacking that card.
If you're a WGS fan right now, you're thinking about the defense, but it just looks hopeless here. There's no tools to come in through this choke and win a fight. Edison's got the grab. Gumba almost builds the trance. He's got it now. That's how they can turn this fight the one way, the one shot.
But the grab is still going to lock them up. They have to eat this one. Their way over towards the cart. Okay, they do manage to tag it. This is how far back it's rolled. Pinned straight in on top of the cart here. Tried to keep Mondo alive. The Transcendence even is not enough. The focus fire from GC Busan Wave. Edison with such high energy, it's just too much for him. Grab comes in. It's going to be locking up Ion alone here onto the cart, but the sound barrier will keep him alive, and now they're going to be turning things around as DPI gets popped out of the mech. Ryan under fire. Has the shatter online. Drops it down. Locks up a few into the front. That's going to be the light going down.
Wait a minute.
Pelican gets 2.
No
Ion's getting dropped. WGS turns this one on its head. Ritz is going to be taken down. Oh man, the shatter from Korian, leading to one of the biggest ships in the fight, but they still have to make it over to B. They're halfway there. Can they do this in OT?
I don't think I've ever seen anything like this in, 7 seasons of Overwatch. That was a lost fight by every sense. They barely get everyone back. The cart is so far back that they can get the respawns in quickly. Unbelievable turn of this fight, and now GC Busan Wave spills out of the choke.
Have to take this one right here. Bomb's going to be out from Ritz, looking for a pick. Pelican, the first one to drop. Mondo going to be throwing down that sound barrier. Shatters out from Ion. Locks them up. Grab for good measure. As they try to get the rest of the kills, DPI will be taken down. You would expect here in the main farm. And now Korian as well going to be taken out. There's a few remaining members here from WGS trying to elongate this OT part. Mondo starts inching forward just a little bit. The bar absolutely plummets. They get it close again, but they cannot get the completion. A fantastic turnaround on the fight, but not enough to get to B.
That was insane, though. That's the kind of defense where, yeah, you do finally hold it there. You do halt them from B. Scary as it was with Mondu teetering around the edges of the cart. but you are not feeling comfortable after losing a fight like that you had certainly won. You're starting to question your positioning. You're starting to question, can we win? If we can't win 6v4 fights, can we win 6v6 fights? That's the kind of thing that's going to stick in the back of your mind as you try to approach here. WGS Armament, for the first time in the series, now has a win condition. If they could defend A or stop this cart on the streets phase, they are going for their best placement ever. Worst case scenario, top 4. We live in this world now where if they just have one good choke defense, which by the way happens on Dorado quite a bit, then this is their series. It's not time to crack under pressure now. GC Busan Wave is going to have to fall back to that experience. Not only have they played in Contenders Season 2, but they've played with this squad through many, many open divisions. All these players have seen Apex Challengers. These guys have been around for a long time. This is their map pick. They had a great hold on B. As long as they don't mess up the attack here, as long as they don't bleed too many ults on A, feels like we're going to a Game 5 here.
With the first one of the playoffs. Let's see if that's what we're about to get. Oddly reminiscent so far of King's Row. Map pick as well from GC Busan Wave, just shy of B. The second time for WGS. Can they improve their defense this time around? And close it out right here, right now. Very good way to start things off. Mondu find that right-click kill on the Daydream, but they lose DPI's mech. He's spamming away his shield, however, going to be held up by Ion, denying away a lot of this damage that he's trying to lay down. And they turn around, come up with some kills there into the front line. Gargoyle and Karayan both get eliminated.
They have the faster respawns too.
A lot of free space opened up.
And you know, GC Busan Wave, I think, is tired of what happened on Anubis. They're starting to adapt to these DPI high ground dives where he comes in and looks for those back kills. Sure, does get the opening pick, but he loses his mech for it. They collapse there, and they have the faster respawns. Better ult charge now, nearly doubling the Zarya ults is Edison of Gargoyle. 56 to 34.
Stun comes through, Karai gets the bubble. Gargoyle helping to keep him alive. Good coordination being shown here. Rally going to be out from Delight. Armoring up, Pelican now going to be matching, helping keep Mondu alive. He's dangerously low. Taking a look in that top right corner, Ryan under some fire. Trying to stay alive, Shatter going to be coming down from Ion, flips over to the side. Ryan locked up in with that Graviton Surge. Will be eliminated. 4 members, now 5 as DPI gets popped out and killed. And this gone from the side of WGS.
The edge that Edison had, you know, now he's 40% ahead. The 20 more off that grab. Gargoyle doesn't have his grab. Myungbong didn't have the trance. When you commit that heavily, you give the ult to Edison, and you don't have the matching ult. And that's why GC Busan Wave just feels comfortable tossing that grab in. Did they absolutely need it to win the fight? No, but it guarantees they've got a good time bank here. They're going to feel very, very comfortable. Look at this, just some free ult charge off the high ground.
Yeah, does have to drop back down, knows that he could get isolated by somebody like DPI. Pushed out just now, going to be making it back in. Throws out the bomb, finds 2. Karayan and Gargoyle both just going to be eliminated. So it's back into the mech safely. Clean up kills coming in as Mondu and Myungbong will be the only ones left.
Speaking of Myungbong, wasted the Transcendence. They don't have an answer for the next grab for Edison. That is going to be the win condition. That's why he's walking into their base looking for that final 30% because he knows there's no answer. If he hits this grab, it is game over. DPI's been doing his damn best to eat those. It's not every time.
See if he can do it again here in the final hour to try to close out this series for his team. Even then, they still have to drain the clock another 4 minutes. But maybe getting a little bit ahead of myself. Shadow going to be coming down. Response out from Karayan. Just managed to lock up 3 Ions. The first one to get dropped. But they need so much more than that. They lose out on Pelican. Edison able to come up with the kill. Grab still going to be held. Fielder using that Transcendence here. Grab locks him up. Sound barriers out. Bomb as well. DPI looking for a pick. Not going to be able to find it. Gargoyle kills himself off, it would seem, with a right click. Edison being jumped on, but such high energy here. Is trying to knock DPI back out of that mech. Will finally be taken down. Bomb up from Ritz, looking for a pick. It's Karayan. Myungbong going to be gone. Pelican able to find the Baby Diva. Denies him from remeching. GC Busan Wave still very much in the
DPI
fight right now. DPI so very low, goes back over, picks up the Mega Pack. Pelican gets picked off in the meantime. Gargoyle bubble up on himself, trying to stay alive, but they hound him down. The Discord Orbs doing too much here. Pick him off. DPI going to be eliminated. Fielder finds that one. The Baby Diva taken down to the back end by Delight. Karayan dead in the front line. Gargoyle desperately swapping over onto the Wrecking Ball to try to get back to the card, to try to keep this one contested. Mondu so very low, shatters out. They lock down Pelican. And oh boy, 2.5 meters left to go. Can anyone stop this? The wrecking ball so very low will be finished off. You've just about rolled in. 0.48 left to go as DPI will be eliminated. Koryan's going to be gone. The Baby Diva instantly melts down. And ladies and gentlemen, we are going to Game 5.
And it's a reverse of the start. This time, the map choice will be WGS Armaments. We started this all off the very beginning of the night. GC Busan Wave picks Lijiang, loses their control map pick. And as we come to the end of it, 2 maps back-to-back of their choice. GC Busan Wave has to fight their way back to ties. First down 0-1, then down, 1-2. They bring us to that 2-2 scoreline. And it's the final map that WGS Armament gets to choose. Could bet they've got their eyes on avoiding Busan. It's always been a big comfort map at the neutral for Ion and GC Busan Wave in terms of controlling chokes. I'm expecting we'll see something like the Nepal come through here. It's risky against Ion, who's also a pretty decent Orisa, and that could be relevant should we go to Sanctum. But GC Busan Wave fights back twice on those Streets Phase S maps. Remember I was talking about, that's their strength. They protect a cart, they protect an area that's mobile, and they're efficient in that way. You put them in a position where they're defending one zone, that's when WGS is finding them and picking them apart. That's when Mandu's coming in and splitting the tanks and the support line. That's when we're seeing DPI jump down from the same high ground repeatedly and cut them off. On control, it's going to be similar to that, though. It's similar to where we saw in Lijiang. It's similar to what we saw on Anubis. So, stressful time for GC Busan Wave because, yes, you have forced the 5th map. But it feels like with how the first map set, I think you said 76% the gain versus the 200. Very dominant win for WGS. It feels like you're going on to WGS's court. They're the ones who have the advantage here. You've got to stop them in the last hour.
Where do you want to go? Achilios seems like maybe not a great idea just because of that potential Pharah play that could come through from Edison. We've seen a lot of teams move over to that right at the end when they need a clutch performance, and it has gotten them victories.
Certainly something I think to avoid. I look at this and I think Nepal's neutrals, whether it's Village, or
That's
Shrine,
true.
those two neutral fights before the point unlocks, I look at that and I'm thinking, as long as we don't hit Sanctum, and that's only one of the 3 maps, they can't win the map off Sanctum. Sanctum's where I'm scared because you've got Orisa from Ion, you've got Edison potentially playing hit scan. That's terrifying. That's the map you're like, ooh, I don't want to deal with them on Sanctum. But if you're talking about Village, you're talking about Shrine, I look at those neutrals as this is WGS's arena. Oh. I just got too excited.
Just doing it. It's okay. It's less tilted than it normally is.
It's tradition for us.
Name a better duo. Wolf and his badge being tilted.
Wolf and Achilios, best duo in Overwatch.
There you go. That's exactly it. He picked up on it. Thank you. But yeah, I mean, the pressure is on right now for WGS. If you guys are, if you're like the second grain and you took a look at the match victories, when you're trying to learn how to identify patterns, what comes next? No one has won 2 maps in a row, so by that, WGS is up for the next victory to take the series. But honestly, this is anybody's game at this point. GC Busan on their picks have looked absolutely phenomenal. I think that with a different map other than Lijiang, they might be able to find some success, but I really just don't know who's going to be able to take this in the end.
I think when you look at the bracket here, it's the winner of this fight's Runaway, right? So when you look at the bracket, you think about what this means. It's like, look at the dominant performance you see from Runaway all season long. These 2 are neck and neck. No matter who takes this, and Runaway's probably looking at this going, well, this is going to be a tough semis. You see, a lot of these highlight clips coming through. This was basically the most, technical defense there that they could have tried to do, WGS, where they were, with Lucio, a half-health diva, trying to get on the point, trying to buy that time, trying to get the respawns through. It wasn't going to happen, even with their faster ones. Very efficient hold from GC Busan on the attack. Maintain control of that cart. Let's see where we're going. My money's on the ball. Will be Busan. What a big risk. What a statement. Fight GC Busan on Busan. Take it against Ion, who's had phenomenal performances on Mecha Base and Downtown. You are taking the biggest risk here, WGS Armament. Let's see if it pays off. This is a map we've seen a ton of play for Busan Wave on, so there's a lot to study, there's a lot to prepare here, but it is a big, big risk.
Well, let's see where we end up. Okay. Will be Downtown to kick us off. Map 5, ladies and gentlemen, the first map 5 of the playoffs thus far. Not sure if we'll have another one in our next series with Element Mystic versus Geekstar. Seems unlikely, but this one has been so very back and forth on a knife's edge this entire time.
Yeah. They cut a knife in half and put it on the edge of that. It's like on half of a knife's edge. Someone used a microscope and a diamond cutter to cut a knife in half. And we're on that edge. All right, so
very close, but here we go.
Mirror comps, no surprises.
Yeah.
Just going to be straight 3-3 mechanical neutral game
risky. Too risky to run something like the Widow here.
Pharah also popular here, but it's just not worth trying it out in their final hour.
There we go. Good boop there from Mondu, trying to zone them back. A lot of damage over on the Pelican. He's going to be hounded down, but will be able to stay alive here for the moment.
Look at the damage output, and also the cutoff attempt to try to get Ion isolated again. This is what Mondu's been doing all night, but Busan Wave keeping him together with the squad.
No one's even looking at Mondu. I don't think he's taking any damage so far. Point now going to be unlocked. Both teams pushing back. No, actually going to be WGS pushing forward, trying to get in on top of Busan Wave, but now they have the cap. Does come through. Ritz going lower and lower in that mech. We popped back up here temporarily as they try to maintain control.
Adaptability shown here for Busan Wave, dealing with this now. Look at this, in trouble is Karayan.
Sound barrier coming out. Karayan trying to stay alive. Shatter going to be dumped in. They do manage to lock down Ritz, and they will pop him out of the mech. Grabs on surge out from Gargoyle, locks him in. Shatter response in from Ion. Bomb's going to be out, and DPI gets 2 of them. The Baby Diva and Field are both going to be eliminated now. Edison going to be gone. WGS Armament going to be looking for that flip very swiftly here. Not even 30% gained.
This is very reminiscent of the start of Lijiang. Re-engage on the point, using ultimates here to look for those solo kills. They got the kill onto Ritz's mech, and that opens up the grab. You know you can grab. There's no defense matrix anymore. Grant's got another shatter. They've got this choke controlled. Busan Wave's got to feel terrified. No support ultimates to counter this.
Out the light. Just trying to armor everything up. Boop coming through. Myungbong, however, going to be taken down. That's a fantastic pick off his fielder. Finds it. Grab comes in. They lock up Mondu. They isolate him. Both supports now going to be taken down. DPI does manage to find Ion. Breaking down that front line. Shatter out from Karayan. Gets 3 of them in the back. Gargoyle picks up fielder. Now the light going to be eliminated. Edison cannot stand on his own. Taken down as soon as the bubble expires. And WGS, they lose their supports. They still maintain
They
control.
know how to get these money ultimates. It's crazy. They put everything into DPI self-destruct. They focus on that. They look for Mondu to come in with the right click. They look for the charges. For this, they did almost no damage. Edison, if you look at his energy in that last fight, 30 energy. Builds almost nothing. No one's hitting those bubbles because they're looking for the perfect angle for the shatter, and they get it. He builds another one here with that Fire Strike.
That Fire Strike's absolutely huge. Now already up to 75%. Bomb out from Ritz. Not going to find anything. Desperately try to keep DPI alive, but throws out the bomb. Doesn't get anything. Will just be able to remech safely.
It's a remech, yeah.
Gargoyle sitting here. Grab online, throws it into the wall. Fielder instantly popping that Transcendence, trying to keep him alive. Ion going lower and lower. They don't have the focus fire to take him down. DPI in from behind. It's going to be spamming away at their back ends, trying to get the kill. The Shadow comes down. Korian going to be the first one to drop. Myungbong there with the Transcendence, trying to keep the rest of the team alive as they go in for the 5v5. Down to break down on Ryan. Now Ryan here over on the side
energy
of GC Busan Wave. 100 now for Gargoyle. Is melting his way through Ritz's mech. Takes him out. Right click comes through. Daydream says sayonara. He's out of there. Nearly 100% here for WGS, and I don't think anybody can tag this. No, they cannot. 100-28 in the end. WGS, they do it again. They pick up a round of control.
Yesterday, we saw an upset when we saw MVP Space defeated by Stormquake. But neither of those teams were once considered favorites to win this tournament. They were not the teams that everyone was saying, I'm scared of this team, I'm terrified of this squad. It was GC Busan Wave that everyone was talking about with Runaway, right? Now WGS is just 1 round away from taking another 2-0 on control, the second of our first of 3 to win this. No one could have predicted at the beginning of the season that this team would not only make playoffs, but make top 4 and defeat GC Busan Wave on their way. Well, right now, it's hard to believe that GC Busan Wave can come back into this. They are getting dominated on these control points. The split-ups we're seeing from Mandu, Karayan, DPI on the flanks. Coordination is of legendary proportions here for a rookie squad in their first playoffs.
We go over on a Sanctuary, the staging round. Match point truly for WGS. One more round, and they are through to the semifinals. They are Edison getting chunked out. He's cut his way back, tries to get that shield back through. Ion, they get so much damage to the front line, but it will be Gargoyle who gets taken down first and foremost. Now DPI popped out of the mech. GC Busan Wave finally finding some ground to stand on. They will finish off the Baby Diva. Ritz loses out on his mech. That's about as bad as it gets, I suppose, for GC Busan Wave here at the moment. But with the shadow coming down from Grind, maybe I'm speaking too soon. 2 kills coming in. Delight going to be taken down.
Daydream needs that kill, but he's just not getting it. Ion insanely low.
He's so very low.
Killed.
Gets taken down. Mandu pushing forward, finds the right click. The flip getting ready to happen. Only 11% built up, and WGS they get control again.
Mandu, a legendary player in his own right in such a short amount of time. We've seen so many environmental kills from this guy. He's the one who's splitting the team in half. He's surviving, he's flanking, doing that extra 10% of damage to confirm those kills. Insane plays from this Lucio. He's down on ults here, sure, but he's making the big plays without him.
Nice right click, shoving them back. Both support ultimates available for GC Busan Wave. Is that going to be enough for them? No! Pelican comes up with the kill on Daydream. Now the Shatter's out from Ion, but they're just dropping members like flies here. Ion does manage to find Mandu, but they need so much more than that if they want to regain control.
Starts to feel like
Ryan's hit the ground. Ion going to be eliminated. WGS, they keep holding.
They're doing it without ultimates too. GC Busan Wave has held their support ultimates so long it could almost be said to have a new set of them, but they're trying to use them to counter ults that WGS hasn't even built yet. They're winning these fights from separating one member, getting a single pick. GC Busan Wave doesn't want to waste their ults in a 5v6 fight, so they have to regroup. They've got nearly the big 6 here. Rally to lead.
Just to try to keep everybody alive, to try to ensure that these supports don't get picked off.
They got to be grouped up here. They might have to trans to approach.
Grab online, tries to throw it in. Oh no! It gets nothing! DPI takes it away, and now they respond with a grab of their own. The bomb is in. DPI looking for a pick, not gonna find it, but the kill is still there as Karayan gets the pin under the light. Young Bomb takes down Ion. WGS just 25% away from going to the semifinals in their first playoff appearance.
You drop in the grab, it's eaten. There's nothing you can do. You're down on ultimates in every single regard, and suddenly you come in, no tools, no answers, nothing. Double support ultimates, but you can't find value. Daydream's got that sound barrier. They're going to have to use it to tag the point, but they've got nothing else, and I mean nothing. Nothing to speak of. W just been winning every fight without him.
Can they even try to tag this one? They're trying to work their way over from the side. Daydream drops in the sound barrier. Mandu going to be matching the same. They force out the OT, but can they get the flip? Still going to be contained away from the point. 2 members going to be contesting it here at the moment. The flip, the cap getting ready to come through. DPI will be taken down. They pop a Mountain Delight. Scoops up the kill onto the pilot form. But can they transition this into a victory? WGS has been fighting a man down pretty much this entire time. They've been managing to scrape by with these fights. Transcendence is already going to be used. Gargoyle waiting for his moment. Grab comes down. They lock him in. The pin's going to be there. Doesn't find the kill. But there you go, 2. Instantly going to be dropping like flies. Ion and Fielder eliminated. Trying to stay alive. Pelican will be the one eliminated, but now Daydream's going to be gone. It's just Ritz and Edison against the world. The bomb will come out, but the shield is ready to go. Karayan blocks that one. Says thank you very much. We just need to get rid of this Diva again, and they do just that. It ticks down, and WGS,
they've done
it. Take it. 4 rounds of control in a row, all the way to map 5. They are able to get it. And GC Busan Wave, they lose on hometown turf. Cannot get the wins on Busan, cannot advance into the semifinals.
Cinderella story here begins now tonight with them taking this 5th and final map. We said at the beginning of this series, we have to consider the possibility, what we did not consider yesterday with Runaway, we have to consider the possibility this team could take a map or 2. They could take this series. Underestimate this team and they will find ways to beat you. The MVP tonight for this squad is easily Mandu. He comes in, splits this squad up on every single map they won with right clicks, speed boost to cut off those targets, and it's DPI who eats almost every single grab. Edison, easily our most famous Zarya player in Korea, is shut down by a single player. DPI comes in, also a part of the big disruption of this squad.
Makes him look like a fool with these grab eats time and time again.
Insane. It's almost as if he already knew where he was going to grab in each and every moment, sometimes even dying for it, but still consistently absorbing those. What a series we just saw. GC Busan Wave playing to their peak potential as well, but yet even still, WGS Armament on their map type, those control maps, those squares, you got to fight for them, those neutral fights. They turn this around. They lose a fight, come back in 4v6, surprise GC Busan Wave, focus on big ultimates. The most amazing fight, I think, was the one where they retook at like, what, 9% on the first round there, where basically everyone backs away. Edison is not taking any damage on his bubble. He's like, I don't have any energy. We've got this opening kill. And then Karayan is just, everyone's focusing, getting armor on him. He finds that one angle after everyone commits in. And he's like, well, I've just won this fight by myself.
3 with a shatter.
I mean,
absolutely huge.
What a insane amount of plays we saw from these each individual players, like one after the other.
The final count, I believe,